Hello students, start with chapter 2, part 2, Thomson's experiment for determination of charge to mass of the electron. The apparatus used consists of a cathode ray tube. Electric and magnetic fields were applied perpendicular to each other as well as to the path of the electrons. The experiment is based on the principle that the extent of deflection of the electrons will depend upon the charge on the electrons, mass of the electrons and strength of the electric and magnetic field. When only electric field is applied, the electrons are deflected to the point A. When only magnetic field is applied, the electrons are deflected to point C. By suitably balancing the strength of the electric and magnetic field, the electrons are allowed to hit the screen at B. That is the point where electron hits in the absence of the electric and magnetic field. Amount of deviation of the particles from their path in the presence of electrical or magnetic field depends upon number 1. The magnitude of the negative charge on the particle. Greater the magnitude of the charge on the particle, greater is the interaction with the electric or magnetic field and thus greater is the deflection. Number 2. The mass of the particle. Lighter the particle, greater the deflection. Number 3. The strength of the electrical or magnetic field. The deflection of electrons from its original path increases with the increase in the voltage across the electrodes or the strength of the magnetic field. All these calculations lead to the value of charge to mass is equal to 1.758820 into 10 raised to power 11 coulomb per kilogram. Discovery of protons and neutrons. Electrical discharge carried out in the modified cathode ray tube led to the discovery of particles carrying positive charge, also known as canal rays. The characteristics are: number 1. Unlike cathode rays, the positively charged particles depend upon the nature of gas present in the cathode ray tube. These are simply the positively charged gaseous atoms. Number 2. The charge to mass ratio of the particles is found to depend on the gas from which these originate. Number 3. Some of the positively charged particles carry a multiple of the fundamental unit of electrical charge. Last and fourth point, the behavior of these particles in the magnetic or electrical field is opposite to that observed for electron or cathode rays. The smallest and lightest positive ion was obtained from hydrogen and was called proton. When electrically neutral particles having a mass slightly greater than that of the proton was emitted, it was named neutrons. Now, let us start with atomic number of an element, isotopes and isobar. All the three topics have been already studied in class 9. Now let us start again. Atomic number of an element, it is the total number of protons present in the nucleus and total number of electrons present in the neutral atom. Mass number of an element is number of protons plus number of neutrons. And isotopes, atoms of some same elements having same atomic number but different mass numbers are called isotopes. For example, hydrogen has three isotopes. Has three isotopes: protium, deuterium and tritium. All the three has different mass numbers, isobar. Such atoms of different elements but same mass numbers are called isobars. For example, argon, potassium, calcium. They have same mass number but different atomic number. Now start with a different topic, that is called isoelectronics. So what are the isoelectronic species? The species means atoms, maybe ions. Species containing the same number of electrons are called isoelectronics. For example, O-2, F-1, Na+1, Mg+2, Al+3. All these ions have same number of electrons, that is they have 10 electrons each. So they have isoelectronic species. Iso means same, they have same number of electrons. Let us start with models of atom. First model is Thomson's model of atom. It was also studied in class 9. Let us start with this. It is also called raisins pudding model, watermelon model. Why it is called so? Because it contains two types of particles. One is positive sphere and other is electrons. Electrons are embedded in the sea of positive charge, like seeds are embedded in the red part of the watermelon. The stability of the atom was explained as a result of the balance between the repulsive forces between the electrons and their attraction towards the center of the positive sphere. This model is compared with a watermelon because seeds are embedded, or with cake or pudding in which raisins are embedded. Limitations of this model. Though this model was able to explain the overall neutrality of the atom, it could not satisfactorily explain the results of scattering experiments carried out by Rutherford. Rutherford's model of atom. It is also called discovery of nucleus. Rutherford performed some scattering experiments in which he bombarded thin foils of metals like gold, silver, platinum or copper with a beam of fast moving alpha particles. The source of alpha particles was radium, a radioactive substance placed in a block of lead. Slits were used to get a fine beam. The presence of alpha particles at any point around the thin foil of gold after striking at any point around the thin foil was detected with the help of a circular zinc sulfide screen. From these experiments, Rutherford made the following observations. Number 1. Most of the alpha particles, about 99.9%, pass through the foil without undergoing any deflection. Number 2. Few alpha particles underwent deflection through small angles. Number 3. Very few, only 1 in 20,000, were deflected back, that is through an angle greater than 90 degrees. From these observations, Rutherford drew the following conclusions. Number 1. Since most of the alpha particles pass through the foil without undergoing any deflection, there must be sufficient empty space within the atom. Number 2. Since few alpha particles were deflected through small angles and alpha particles were positively charged particles, these could be deflected only by some positive body present within the atom. The alpha particles deflected were those which passed very close to the positive body. Number 3. Since some alpha particles were deflected back and alpha particles are heavy particles, these could be deflected back only when they strike some heavier body inside the atom. Fourth point. Since the number of alpha particles deflected back is very small, this shows that the heavy body present in the atom must be occupying a very small volume. The small, heavy positively charged body present within the atom was called nucleus. Thus, according to Rutherford's model of atom, the atom consists of two parts. Number 1, nucleus, which is very small in size, carries positive charge, and in which the entire mass of the atom is concentrated. Since electrons have negligible mass, the mass of atom is mainly due to protons and neutrons. Hence, protons and neutrons must be present in the nucleus. The presence of positively charged proton in the nucleus also accounts for the positive charge on the nucleus. Next part, extranuclear part, that is space around the nucleus in which the electrons were distributed. To explain that the electrons do not fall into the nucleus as a result of attraction, Rutherford suggested that the electrons were not stationary but were revolving around the nucleus in certain circular orbits. As a result, centrifugal force comes into play which balances the force of attraction. Thus, this model of atom is similar to our solar system, where the nucleus is like the sun and the electrons are like the planet. That is why these electrons are also called planetary electrons.